All right. So, first of all, a very warm welcome to all of you. Let me know if I'm clearly audible and visible to all of you. You can write in the chat box. All right. All right. Thank you so much. Let's start with today's session. And as we all know, today's session is going to be all about cloud computing and everything that comes under cloud computing. What is cloud computing? Why cloud computing is important? And what is the scope of cloud computing? So, before that, let me first of all introduce myself and then we will have our guest speaker with us. So, my name is Gitika, and I am the product manager here at Pregrad organization. And we'll be hosting this entire session for you today. Okay, before moving ahead and before moving to the main content, I would just like to inform you guys that your mics has been muted. So if you want to ask anything throughout the session, or if you want to, if you have any kind of doubts throughout the session, you can write in the chat box. Am I clear enough? Can I get a thumbs up? Okay, perfect. So let's start with the session without any further since the guest speaker is already here. Uh, Let us welcome Sagar Shavin, who's also a senior technical lead at PTC and has been into the industry of cloud computing specifically for nearly about 6 plus or 7 years, if I'm not wrong. So, welcome, sir. How are you doing? Just a second. You might not be able to unmute your mic, sir. Let me just give you the access. Yes. So you have to unmute yourself.
Okay, am I audible now?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, thanks, Gitika. So, yeah, today, um, can I give my quick introduction? Hello?
Yes, sir, please go ahead
Okay,
with.
so I have 7 years of experience. I'm currently working as a senior technical lead in PTC Software, Pune, India. So I'm since beginning of my career, I started working in the DevOps, and cloud computing is the day-to-day activity for me. So I used to work on the cloud on daily basis. I used to work on the AWS, Azure, GCP, something like that. And many of you are already worked on or use these services or cloud computing platforms, or maybe you have learned throughout the your syllabus in the colleges, right? So cloud computing is the part of syllabus, I believe, because I when I was learning, that was the one of the subject in my college. Okay, so I have I have slide for the presentation. So let me share my screen, and then just let me know once you are able to see my screen. Okay, is it visible to all? Okay, cool. So let's start about the what is cloud. Okay, everyone knows about the what comes into your mind when you think about the cloud. Is it in the sky, which is we always think about this sky and the cloud, or which is like rain and cloud, all these things. So in computing, cloud computing terms, or in terms of the cloud computing, cloud is the internet, right? Maybe I think we should have the interactive session, so it will be very good to have the discussions, because I don't want to give the information or something. It should be like I want to simplify the cloud computing concept the student have. So it will be like if that is an interactive session, then it will be good. Yeah, you can write over the messages. I can read your messages. That is even good. Okay, fine. Okay, so what is the cloud in terms of the cloud computing? So you have given the Sandhya has messaged the storage. Meghna saying that virtual space, or anybody else, convenience way of accessing computing resources whenever needed through the internet. Okay, that's correct. So so cloud, only if you think about the cloud is the internet. Okay, cloud is only internet. And what is internet? Internet is the network of the multiple computers, or computers over the world, or computers, millions of billions of computer connected together, right? That is the internet, and internet is a cloud. So very simple to understand what is cloud. Cloud is the internet. Okay, and what is cloud computing? Then we will go to the next step, that is the cloud computing, once you understand the cloud. Okay, so anybody staying in the rented house, or paying the rent for the stay or something? Anybody? So just for the example, just I don't okay, so it is the same concept here in the cloud. So instead of owning own house, we stay in the someone else house, right? So and we pay for the whatever for our stay. So that is the same concept used in the cloud computing. We get almost same facilities as our home or house, and we need to pay rent monthly, yearly, sometimes day basis if we uh, travel. It's the same concept we are using in the cloud computing. So let's imagine you have the big powerful computer on which you can do anything like playing game development, developing code, or storing files on the storage, creating databases, etc. So cloud computing is like renting that powerful computer. Okay, so to the or many computers over the internet, instead of owning them yourself. So instead of buying the your own computer with all this facility, we just have to rent it, or we just borrow it on a rent. It's like using someone else's computer, but with the lots of benefits. Okay, is it clear? Anyone? Good. Okay, cool, thank you. So let's go into the actual definition of the cloud computing. I don't go through, don't want to go into the actual academic syllabus, but just for your understanding, I will just repeat the definition. Okay, just a second. Let me start the presentation. Okay. So here we will understand the what is the cloud computing, and what are the key principles of the cloud computing. So as per the academics books, cloud computing is delivering the services over the internet, enabling the fast innovation, flexible resources, and economies of scale. Right. So what are the services? Services including the storage, servers, databases, networking, software, analytics, intelligence over the over the internet or the cloud. It is the cloud computing. For the faster innovation, flexible resources, and economic of scale means for the paying something or whatever you use. It typically involves renting of resources and accessing them remotely over the internet rather than owning them. That is what I already told you. It is the same concept that we are renting the house. Okay, so one of the platform, let's say Azure, AWS, or GCP, they are renting their data centers resources to the companies or US individual users or something like that. So I have two questions for you. You can give the answer at the end or maybe in the middle. You have to write into the chat. Okay. So I believe everyone have already using the cloud computing applications or softwares or on day-to-day basis, or you guys have already used it, I believe. So can you just write the 4 5 names, whatever you think of, this is the cloud computing or cloud based application that you have used. Okay, this is the one question. And second question is, uh, why we want to use the cloud instead of buying all resources by ourselves. Okay, so these two questions, you can just write the answers. Okay, one question is the which applications you have used from the cloud computing, and another question is the why we use the cloud instead of using or buying the own resources. Okay, you can give the answer one, answer two, or give in one number for bullet for something like that. Okay, fine. Then next go to the key principles of the cloud computing. Okay, so first key principle is the on-demand self-service. Let's think about the video streaming service like Netflix. Okay, this is the cloud-based application or website, whatever you can say, and you can just sign up and start watching the movies or TV shows whenever you want without having to wait for the CDs, DVDs. Like before, in past time, we used to have the CDs and DVDs to play the any movies or TV shows or anything like that. So currently, Netflix gives the on time service, like you can just log in and you can watch, right? So then take another example of on demand self service. You have laptop with the 1 GB RAM, 2 core CPU, and you need to install or install and play the high quality graphics game. Okay, just understanding graphics game required the high CPU and memory use, right? Because of the graphics utility. And or you need to execute the application on your laptop which requires the at least 4 GB RAM or 4 CPU core. Okay, it's a double of your existing one. Will you able to manage it with your existing laptop? Isn't it possible? No, right? So why it is not possible? Because we cannot expand our laptop resources with the existing resources that we have. Let's say we have the CPU, RAM, and hard disk. We can extend the hard disk. We can extend even RAM, but we cannot extend the CPU. That I believe. I don't know if technology has advanced now, and they are actually extending CPU also now. But I don't think so. But in the cloud form, it's very simple. Like you just have to provision the virtual machine. You have to scale up the your resources, scale down your resources, giving the right size of the that VM, right? You have to provide the whatever size you want, whatever the number of CPUs you want, and just you have to provision that, and it will be available within a minute or few minutes. Okay, so next key principle is the broad network access. Okay, so when you use the application like Instagram on mobile, so you can access over the internet from anywhere in the world. Okay, you don't need to be uh, connect or to the LAN cable or something in current time, and as long as you have the internet connection, you can use it anywhere. So that is the one benefit of the cloud computing. Okay, then next key principle is the resource pooling. So just do you guys know the Hindi? Just सो हिंदी में एक कहावत है, जैसे कि कद्दू कटेगा तो सब में बटेगा, राइट? सो द रिसोर्सफुल इज समथिंग लाइक दैट. सो कद्दू मतलब क्या है कि अगर कोई चीज बड़ी है, राइट, तो सब में बटती है. लाइक वी कैन नॉट गिव द वन स्कूप ऑफ आइसक्रीम टू एवरीवन, इट्स अ वेरी स्मॉल, यू कैन नॉट शेयर इट. बट वी हैव द family pack of the ice cream, then we can share it easily, right? So similar to that, like kaddu katega sab mein batega. So this is the very big giant data center which have the huge number of CPU cores, huge number of storage accounts, huge number of things. So so let's go back to the cloud computing definition. So if you think about the cloud, we cannot think about the cloud in the sky, right? We should think about the something is there in physical form, which is called as data centers, okay, in reality, and which has the capacity or power to utilize in a different form. Okay, so that is called as cloud computing. So similar concept here, the resource pooling. Let's say you have the computing huge computing power, you can share the same pool of the computing resource, like storage space or processing power, to everyone, or whenever request for it. Okay, so let's take example of the storage account, or we have the hard disk, right? Then everyone can store the data at home. Like we have the hard disk, we can give name, everyone's name, and we can start storing the data individually. And at home we can store, everyone store the same data into the same hard disk. We don't require to buy the pen drive for each even, right? So this is the same thing in the resource pooling. Next take example, next concept is the elasticity. Okay, first question is the what is elasticity. So anybody knows the what is elasticity? Elasticity, anyone knows? Or elastic, elastic is a simple thing, right? We use elastic in our clothes, which can be stretch or shrink. Okay, that is the elastic. So it's like the we can scale up and scale down in the cloud terms. Okay, let's say we have VM of 1 GB RAM, we can scale up to the 5 GB RAM or 6 GB RAM, whatever we want. So similar to CPU, we can scale up to the n number of core. Okay, correct. It's get bigger as much as stretch it, but there is some limitation. But yeah, similarly here also we have some limitation in the cloud. There is some quota, so you will get to know later once you start working on it. So similarly there is a stretching power and shrinking power, but there is a limitations here also in the cloud, because based on the data center strength, it's a depend on the that limitation. Okay, so next thing is the let's take a real example, okay, of the rapid elasticity. Okay, uh, in Diwali sale, Amazon users visit more than the usual days, right? So let's imagine Amazon using 100 machines to run their servers. Okay, and on Diwali sale, will they able to handle the traffic with the same number of servers? Is it possible? No, right? Correct. Yes. So it's not possible with the same number of servers, because it will be go down. Or you used to heard about same thing, that server has gone down, or server not available, mostly in the government website, because they don't scale up and scale down. I think so. So site crash, right? uh Yes, correct. Server has crashed. Something similar to that, we used to know that the server has crashed, or site crashed, or anything. Okay, cool. So with the cloud computing, it is very much possible to handle it in a better way by adding the extra servers when they need and removing the extra unnecessary server when there is a no need. So if we even remove the extra servers, we will charge less. Okay. Sorry. So similar to that, we can add CPU, memory, and whatever the computing resources we can add or remove on the fly. And this you're using that thing, it will not be having the crash on regular basis. It can be there, but not on regular basis like we have on premise setup, because we have the limited setup, limited thing, limited computing resources, and that can happen on our on premise. Okay. Then next key skill is the paper use. Everyone knows it, right? I don't really need to explain it, but just for your understanding what is paper use, it's like we have to use whatever we used it. Let's say we have bought some candy, we have to pay for only candy, not for the uh, pocket of that candy, right? So we have to pay for only we use. If you use one virtual machine for one day, then we have to pay for only one day for 1 hour, or maybe whatever time you use, and whatever the computing resources. It's not like the you are using one virtual machine with 2 GB RAM and two CPU core. You will get need to pay for the 10 GB RAM and 10 CPU core. No, not like that. You have to pay only for the specific whatever. Yes, this is Netflix is an example of the paper use. That's correct, but it's a monthly basis subscription. So here is the there is a two kind of subscription, like in cloud form there is a monthly basis bill or even daily basis, or only exact thing like you use it for the day or something, you will get need to pay for a day, but billing will be happen at the end of the month, something like that. I don't know the how billing is happen because I never use the paid subscription for the any cloud platform. Okay. So, okay, cool. I think this is clear to you, all the key principles of the cloud computing. Yes, good. Okay, cool. I believe everyone understand. Let's go to the next point. Second is the components of the cloud computing. Okay. So, what are the components of the cloud computing? So those are the applications, services, storage, management, infrastructure, and security. S- But what are those exactly? Application everyone knows. I don't need to explain it more, right? Because you have already few of them have already given me the answer of the like what are the applications are you using on daily basis. Okay, so one Dropbox, Google Cloud, AWS. Then Suman Krishna saying that Google G Suite. That's correct. Okay. Google Drive, GitHub, Draw.io. That's very good. AWS, GCP, Google Drive, OneDrive. Yeah, that's all. You're giving the correct answer, and this is what the applications we are using on day-to-day basis. Okay. So let's understand what it means. The application. Application is the software program or the application that uses or user can access via the internet. So you can say that is the Gmail, Zoom. I don't need to give you the what is the usage of the Gmail or Zoom. Everyone knows it, right? Video conferencing we use the Zoom. Then the Wix, if you know, then it is for the website building that we use. Okay, then what is the services? So this is a very good point. What is the services? So cloud computing offers the wide range of services, including computing power, work, which is called as virtual machines or computing resources. Okay, then storages or databases, networking, analytics, and intelligence, which we already discussed in the definition of the cloud computing. Okay, so let's take example of the services. Okay, so there is a most basically three services. Everyone knows it. Can anyone write the all three services cloud of the cloud computing? Can anyone write the? Okay, yes, correct. Dev Kumar, Manoj, Venu, yeah, correct. Not Apache 2 is the service, but yes, uh, AS, PAS, and SAS. Okay, that is the main services. Yes, there is a IDAAS. I don't know what is IDAS. Maybe you can write it, Ashwarya, into the chart so that I can also be aware of this. Okay. So there is a few other services like Kubernetes as a service, container as a service, then databases as a service. So there are many, but mostly there is a infrastructure as a service, well, platform as a service, and software as a service. Okay, identity as a service. That's correct. You're right. That is also one of the service. So uh, so I don't need to explain this because you know it. We will explain. Sorry, we will discuss it later in detail about the infrastructure as a service, software as a service, and platform as a service. Okay, and just take an example of the services you can consider as a Amazon Web Services. It is one of the service which offers the variety of the cloud services. Also provides the Amazon S3 bucket, which is called as simple storage service. Okay, then next thing is the management, right? uh, Management is something is managing or administrating or monitoring the things, right? So in cloud management involves the tools or processes which is used to administrator or monitor the cloud resources. Okay, this includes provisioning and configuring the resources. You can provision the virtual machines, storage accounts, networking resources, monitoring. Then you can monitor the performance of the resources, optimizing the cost, ensuring the security and compliances. So these are the things which comes under the management of the cloud. Okay. So there are few examples you can take. That is the ARM, which is the most popular, which is used in the Azure. So it is called as Azure Resource Manager, which is used to allow user to provision and manage the resources. Okay. Then next thing is the infrastructure. Okay, what are the next service? That is the infrastructure. So cloud infrastructure offers the virtual resources into the cloud, and which includes the server, storage devices, networking, databases. So there is a huge list. Analytics applications are there. Their AI applications are started adding into the cloud platform. So there are so many things into the uh, services. So infrastructure as a service also provides the pay per use. Okay. So take example of the infrastructure. You already know AWS, Azure, GCP. Any other cloud platform do you know? Anybody? Any other instead of the AWS, GCP, and uh, Azure? Okay. Anything else? Aneka. Okay. Good. Next, which is popular? Maybe Salesforce. Correct. Good. Anyone else? There are so many cloud platforms. Okay, those are not Alibaba. Correct. Those are not too popular like these three. IBM Cloud. Very correct. Digital Ocean. I don't know about the Digital Ocean is, but I will check. Okay. Cool. Cisco. Okay, fine. You can list it out, but we can go to the next point. Okay. Okay, next service is the security, which is the most important service into the cloud or anywhere. If you want to develop something, we should have the security. Otherwise, you know, now cyber attacks are getting increased, and you should have the security for your softwares. Otherwise, just launching your service into the market, and you may not know what will happen to your application. That can be crashed or attacked by any hacker or something. That can, you don't know anything. So security is the most important point or service provided by the cloud computing. So what comes under the why we require the security? So cloud security is for the protecting data, applications, infrastructure in cloud. Okay, this includes the encryption, access control, identity management, or threat detection, attack detection. That is what I just talk about. Compliance and some regulatory requirement. So if you mm, uh, anybody knows the government has this special cloud support, like they they there is a one option for the when you sign up or subscribe for the cloud. There is they ask for the, is this for the government? Anybody knows it? Because they provide the higher security for the government services or government whatever website or anything. If the government request for the, so there is a special provision for the government also, okay, in the cloud. So just take an example of the security. So what is the security application? Can anyone give any security application? Anyone knows any security application? Okay, fine. So one of the popular security application is the Cloudflare, is cloud-based security platform that protects the website and application from the cyber attacks such as DDoS, malicious bots, or they provides the WAF. WAF is the web application firewall. Once you go into the detail about the cloud computing, you will get to know the what is WAF in detail. This is the basic session, I believe, and we don't need to go into the detail now. Okay. So this also provides the SSL and TLS encryption. Okay. So anybody knows the what is TLS? Only knows how to attack and some tactics. Okay, Venu, you are a hacker. Cool. Uh, okay. So anybody knows the how to sorry, SSL or TLS, secure socket layer, correct? And why we use it? It's for security. It's a very simple, right? Protecting the data. It's a for data, but SSL is for the mostly website to secure their communication. Okay. TLS is the advanced one. That's correct, Suman, Krishna. Um, which is for the communication mostly for the website. So when we send the any request, communication happens throughout the secure encrypted form so that anybody cannot get your communication. So let's say you are chatting on the WhatsApp and WhatsApp is not secure, so anybody can your see what you are chatting or communicating with your friends, and there is a no security for your chat, right? So just to avoid all these things, there is a security service also provided by the cloud. Okay. Okay, so let's next move to the next point. Cloud computing services. So we just talk about this, what is cloud computing services. Mostly we will be talking about the infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. There are few others, like someone said identity as a service, that's correct, containerization as a service, Kubernetes as a service. Then there is a there is one few more like database as a service. So we will only focus on the basic three things. Okay, first is the infrastructure as a service. So what is infrastructure as a service? So it provides the infrastructure over the internet. It's simple, right? And what is the infrastructure which comes which involves the virtual machines, storage, networking. We talk many times about this, like databases and all these things. Okay, and example of this like Amazon web services, that is AWS, Microsoft Azure, GCP, IBM Cloud. Someone has few of you has also given the additional Cisco and other things. Okay, so those are the also cloud platforms, but not more popular to these three platforms. Okay, next is the platform as a service. So what is the platform as a service? Can anyone, anybody just can give me any idea about the what is the platform, just in a layman terms? Platform, or just give me about the what is the platform as a service. Anybody has any idea? No. Okay, so platform is something. So just take an example. Okay, software we can deploy our resources. Okay, it start even before Swapnil. Okay, uh, provides platform for development. Correct, Ashwarya. So it is like providing something like for the development, running, deploying your software. So you can manage your application. So there is a one additional thing. It's not about the just providing the platform for the development, but it's having something which added value there in the cloud computing form. So it is avoiding the complexity of the building and maintaining required infrastructure for your platform. So let's say you want to develop something, your website. Okay, so you can go into the Wix, or you want to write a blog and you can go to the wordpress.com. You can start writing there, and you don't need to provision the servers or anything. You can get it as a service directly. You can just have to log in and start working on it, right? So that is kind of the platforms. So it is like development tool, middleware, databases, application services. Okay, and can you give example? Facebook is a not pass. It's a application. Okay, it's a not a platform. You cannot develop anything on the Facebook. So just take. I have given one example, that is the WordPress.com, where you can write your something or develop your blog. Wix is the one of the platform you can use for the developing your website. So similar to that, can you just give few more names? Anybody knows pass? I mean, platform as a service applications which are being used. Okay, so uh, AWS Lambda is the one of the Terraform is, yes. Terraform Cloud is a platform, but not just a Terraform. Okay, AWS with the AWS Lambda is the platform. Okay, not Dropbox. Dropbox is a not platform. Okay, so Salesforce, which is used for the customer service or marketing automation, e-commerce analytics, something like that. Then there is a Azure App Service, Google App Engine. Vedant, I don't understand IBM Cloud. No, IBM Cloud is a whole itself is a cloud. Okay, it's not just a platform. it's a platform, but there is a few services working as a platform. Okay, OpenSheet is a platform. Zoho, I don't know. I need to check. Okay. Okay, fine. So you got the idea what is the platform, what are the platform as a service, or what are the application work as a platform. Okay. So where you can develop your applications, website, or anything you can develop and deploy without having your own resources, or you don't need to maintain the infrastructure for your developed code or application. Okay. And next is or last is the software as a service. So software as a service allows custom sorry software as a service is an application over the internet. We already discussed that. I will just give an example what are the software as a service, and you can just uh, understand or imagine these are these considered as a software as a service. Let's take as an example as a Gmail, Office 365, Google Workspace, Microsoft 365, or Salesforce is also a software as a service in different form. Like if you are using for the specific CRM, then it's uh, Salesforce is also a software as a service. So there is a many clouds work in a different way. Like it is because cloud platform itself provide the many services. Like it is providing as a software as a service, platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service. So you cannot consider whole thing as a you cannot classify whole thing as a specific service. Like let's say you take example of the infrastructure as a service, you can specify as a AWS, GCP, or um, Azure cloud, IBM cloud, or any other clouds. Okay, because these are the provides the infrastructure. But let's take example of the service. You cannot just go about the giving the cloud names. Okay, in, in case you will be facing any interviews or in exams. Okay, just for your understanding. Okay, so these are the cloud computing services. Let's next move to the I will just give you about the one more thing, that is Google Docs is a SaaS, correct? Is a software. You can use Google Docs for the sharing and writing, also as well as writing and storing and sharing the files. So Google Docs is also a SaaS. That's correct. Dropbox is also a SaaS. Okay, so I will add one more thing I have not given here. Database as a service. So let's say, sorry, in big organization, they used to use the databases as a service. Okay, so let's say they in our small application, let's say you have written some Java application or Python application, so you don't need to use the these cloud services to manage it. But for in big organization like TCS, Wipro, or let's take example of my company PTC, they used to use the cloud databases also. So that comes under the database as a service. So you can what services comes under the database as a service? Then it is MariaDB, then MongoDB, if anyone knows. Then we used to use the Oracle DB and other things which are also part of the whatever the databases available into the market, all comes into the cloud now. So everyone's provide their cloud services. Okay, MySQL, that's correct. Okay, next move. Let's move to the next point. Cloud. Okay, hold on. Cloud computing in real world. Okay, so this is a two images I have added here just for understanding. So this is the cloud computing uh, we think here, and this is the reality. Okay, so we have connected to the one of the router here, and it is connected to the data center or any other. Like this is the showing as the we are getting whatever we want throughout the cloud. but through the something is there in the physical form. Okay, so we have the laptop, printer, desktop, and we are connecting throughout the switches, routers over the internet, and we are able to access the virtual desktop, software platforms, applications, storage data, servers. So you are getting it right. What what is the cloud computing in real world? I don't want you to understand in the what is written in the books, but what is in the real form you should be understand. Any are you getting it right? What it is cloud computing in the real world? If yes, give thumbs up. Okay, Aishwarya, Nita. Okay, Suman. Okay, I hope you guys are understood this. Then we can move to the. This is just for your visualization, what we think and what is in real. Okay. Next, move to the next point or topic. Types of cloud computing. Okay, so we have three major types of cloud computing. If anyone knows other than this, you can write into the message. We can talk about it later. Okay. So one is the public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. So what is public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud? Anyone can give in a single line or a single sentence about the private cloud. I hope session is not boring, isn't it? Hello? Anybody knows? Okay, hybrid is the combination of both private and public. Okay. So my question is the what is private cloud? Do you know Pradnya? Kanak, Jaiswal, Venu, Suman, Narayan, Avasti, Braj, Narayan Avasti, sorry, Vedant. Anybody knows? Owned and operated within an organization. Exactly, correct. Public cloud delivers resources. Private clouds are built, run, and used by a single organization environment. Okay, Suman, that's correct. Very good. Public cloud can be used by anyone. Correct, Vedant. Okay, so you are having the idea about the what is public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. Okay, so I will just add few points from my side. You already knows it. Okay, so public cloud is providing the cloud computing services to the third party providers. Third party providers in the sense AWS, Azure, or any cloud platforms which is the third party for the any company or the users. Okay, over the public internet, so anyone can access it. It's not restricted. Okay, and these providers owns and manage the infrastructure including server, storage, networking, virtual resources. Okay, and it uses the same pay per use subscription policy. It's eliminating the on-premise setup where we need to use the hardware and infrastructure. Then it's highly scalable, allowing user to quickly scale resources on demand, and including infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. It's making everyone's easy to use it. Okay. Then what is the private cloud? Yes, private cloud can be used only by the organization. So private cloud computing is the dedicated to the single organization are hosted on the on-premise. On-premise means within a organization or company or organization can decide where they want to create their own data center. Okay, and it is also provided by the third party provider. So sometimes AWS, Azure, and GCP also helps companies to build their own private cloud. And this infrastructure or the private cloud is not shared with other organization, which provides the good control, security, and customization. Okay, and most important thing, why why companies or organization go to the private cloud? Anybody knows why someone hold or own the private cloud? Why they don't go to the public cloud? Anyone? Purva, Gupta? Security, correct. Security is the one of the most important objective that companies or organization used to achieve. So I already talked about the government has this special thing because of the permission. Because if government data has been leaked, what can happen? It won't. Any government can go for the toss, right? Even government can collapse. That is also can happen. So that is the very important. Yes, Venu, that's correct, to prevent the cyber attacks. So data leak can be avoided. So these are the things. Braj, Narayan, Avasti, it's not just about the using for their employees, okay? Because anyway, public cloud also be used for their employees. So main purpose of the private cloud is the cost. If they know the specific thing, let's take one example. You have the requirement of the specific server, okay? You need require only 100 GB RAM and 100 CPU cores. You will not go beyond that limit. Okay. In that also case, you can go for the private cloud or on-premise setup. You don't need to go for the public cloud because you have the limited requirement. But you don't know when customers can be added. Your client will be added to your project, and you start selling your project to the huge number of customers, right? And once requirement get increased, your requirement of the resources also get increased, and because of that, you cannot predict now about the on-premise setup or private cloud. Okay, but for the security purpose, few companies hold their data into their own cloud. Okay, it's about mostly security. So they host their servers or their host their data center just for the uh, databases. Okay, so there is another thing, that is the hybrid cloud that I will discuss later, which I just talk about the just giving the just using the database from the private cloud and other resources from the public cloud. Okay, so let's understand the what is private cloud. Okay, so it is for the good control, security, and customization. That is what one thing. And then you have to save your sensitive data. You have to use your regulatory compliance, security specific, and performance requirement that can be handled using the private cloud. Okay, then it's also same. It also has the same scalability, flexibility, self-service provisioning, but with added control and security. That is the benefit of the private cloud. Okay. Then next thing is the hybrid cloud. Why we use the hybrid cloud? I just talk about the hybrid cloud, giving example of the database. Okay. So hybrid cloud refers to the combining both public and private. Someone has already answered that some time back. Okay, and it is the same. So few companies or organization decide that I don't require the whole resources into my in organization. I can use the computing resources like virtual machines, Kubernetes containers, and all these things from the cloud. But I will only store the database in my local on-premise setup. Okay, so that is the one of the example for the hybrid cloud. This is for the cost effective and sensitive data, protecting data and all these things. Okay, I think we have covered most of the main topics. Okay, next move to the future trends in the cloud computing. Okay, so in my understanding, we are, and in terms of the cloud computing, we are already living into the cloud future of the cloud, because cloud computing was the, I don't say it is the new technology. It's now very used. Everyone is used to it now. You guys are also using the cloud computing based applications. So we are already living into the future of the cloud computing. Almost 99% of the companies are using cloud now, including startups and big MNCs or anyone. So there is a no new, or like, there is a already future into the cloud. So we are living into the future of the cloud computing. So I want to give you one thing. When I started, cloud was not cloud was not that much popular. So people are started migrating their on-premise setup to the cloud. Okay, so I ask you one question in the beginning, that why we why you want to buy, uh, sorry, why you use the cloud instead of buying your own resources. Okay, you can write. Okay, I will go back to your answers and it will answer that question. I cannot go back to the all question answers. Okay, fine. Anyone can write the answer of it. Why we should move to the, to reduce the cost, correct? Resource optimization, correct? More flexibility for the business, very good. Provides more security, correct? Better performance, scalability, exactly. So these are the all reasons why we moving toward the cloud, not using the on-premise setup that previously companies or organization are having it. Okay, cost effective management, flexible, scalable, work from anywhere. That's very good. Okay, so there is a future. We already in the future, so everyone using cloud. So you must know the cloud once, if you are starting your career into the IT market now. So you must know the one of the cloud platform, that I must say. Okay, I must recommend you guys to at least learn the AWS or Azure or GCP. Mostly, I will suggest all three of them, because those are most popular, are mostly used into the organization. Okay, others are also there like IBM Cloud and other things, but those are not very popular and not being utilized, okay, in the companies. I think we are almost done with the time, and yes, this is, thank you, and question answer session. Gitika, I think you're talking on mute if you're talking.
No, no, actually, sir, I'm waiting for students to ask with the questions. You said
Yes,
it's
yes,
the Q&A round now, so I was just
yes, yes,
waiting for a couple of minutes.
yes. So first thing, just tell me that, yes, I'm on LinkedIn and I will share my contact also. Okay, so don't worry about it. Just if you have any questions, you can ask or maybe write into the chat. Whatever the questions, like when while the discussions or the session, I already answered few of your questions. If you whatever you have asked, what are the microservices? This is a very huge topic. I need to give the another session for the microservices because I will just give you the very high level idea about the what is microservices. Okay, and this is about the cloud computing. If anybody has the question about the cloud computing, just you can ask. Okay, so microservices is something like there is a two things. Once before you go to the cloud microservices, you should know about the monolith. Okay, this is the two types of the application development. Okay, there is a monolith application and there is a microservices of the application. Microservices comes into picture recently. Previously there is a monolith applications which is very tightly bounded, and because of that there is a very complexity while developing the application. Let's say we move code from one server to another, something like everything going to break. But in microservices you can split your application into the small functions and you can develop your applications. Let's say consider, take example of the calculator. Okay, so in that what you can do, you can create the small services like addition, subtraction, multiplication and division, all this operation you do, and you can deploy in a different form of the container. Okay, when you touch to the microservices, containerization and Kubernetes come into picture. Okay, so that is a complete different story. So you need different session for this. But if you just talk about the it at high level, which simplify your application, which give you the ease of the deploying application and migrating of your application. That is what I can say. Where did you done DevOps? Okay, that is a good question. I have not done DevOps. Okay, actually, when I start my career, there is a no concept of the DevOps as a profile. Okay, it's similar to the there are many profiles are there, like people are scattered within the different profiles, like anybody knows the git and like databases and other things, like so there is a configuration manager in managers or configuration engineers, then there is a integration engineers for the deployment, then there is a database administrator. So all comes into the same role, that is the DevOps. DevOps is a practice actually, and then its new role come into the market that using that practice. Okay, DevOps, what does actually DevOps? DevOps enhance the speed of your development and deployment delivery. So this is called as a continuous delivery, continuous deployment, continuous integration. These things come into picture when you start learning the DevOps. Okay. So I have one more thing. I want to share the feedback form. Okay. And I will share my contact details also. So this is the LinkedIn URL. This is my email. If you have any questions later, you can post me there, and I will share my feedback from here. If you just okay, hold on. Okay, so when I started the career, it is the integration engineer I started with. Then there is a new profile coming to the market, that is the DevOps engineer, and I got the opportunity in the another company where first I started with the integration engineer, then I moved to the that role, and where actually I learned the actual DevOps skill. Okay, so the it includes the like Docker, Kubernetes, then a few configuration tools like Ansible, then Git, then there is also programming. There is a meaning of DevOps itself is called as a development plus operation. It's not about the you can skip programming there. Okay, so you have to learn the programming along with your operations, but there is a no, I will say little bit of less than developers, but there must you must know the programming also along with your operation skill. Like you can learn the toolings like Docker, Kubernetes, then Git, and other tools, okay, whatever comes into the DevOps. But along with that, you should know the Python. This is the server side programming language as well as the scripting language. It is a must for the DevOps. Then shell scripting, it's also being used. Then Go language, which is a very popular and new language, which is being used for the development as well as for the scripting. So these mostly being used in the market or any companies. If you are thinking of the DevOps, I will give you another session if required, because it is very vast. It's like there are thousands of tools, and in different companies there are different tools being used, but concept are same. Let's say you are learn the, let's say, one tool, for example, one cloud platform, let's say AWS. For Azure, you will not feel that difficulty into the Azure, because concept are the same. Okay, you just have to use the different name, but concept are same. Like same for the GCP, you have to learn only one cloud platform. You will get to know the another, what just changing the name. Let's say in AWS you called it as a EC2 instance for the virtual machine. In um, in Azure it is virtual machine. In GCP it is instance. It's as simple as that. Okay. Okay, anybody has any question?
I think, sir, we can wrap up with the session. I don't
uh,
think people are having any doubts.
okay, cool.
Yes.
I hope
Uh,
you enjoyed this session.
yes,
I have
yes.
not bored you guys. Yeah, okay.
Yes, the session was very much insightful, first of all, and also there were a few myths about cloud computing. What is cloud computing? Why it is being so widely used nowadays and accepted by a lot of industries. So yeah, that all, that all cleared up. I hope me and all of the students who were there in the session are and will be able to take a lot from the session, right? So, thank you once again for being here, being with us, and sharing all the expertise of 8 years, a little bit of 8 years with us. And we are looking forward to have more such sessions. And to students also, thank you for being here. Thank you for taking your time out. We hope we could deliver you the uh, Pregrad as an organization, and Sagar sir as a person could deliver you the entire basics of cloud computing that
Yeah.
you were looking for. And also, I just want to mention that the recording of the session will be made available on our Instagram bio. So you can check out our Instagram bio, and all of the future webinars or workshops for April and upcoming May month is also scheduled. So you can also check out the same on Instagram bio and register from there. That is it. That is the session. Once again, thank you, Sagar sir, so much for being with us and sharing all the knowledge.
Thank you for the opportunity you guys have given to me. And this is my first session, so I was a bit nervous initially, but I think you guys have. I hope I have delivered my best.
Yes, no, sir. Actually, it didn't seem like that you were nervous. It was all perfect. It was all on the point, and the students also were very much interactive with you, and you also
Yes.
delivered all the answers very perfectly and very patiently. So thank you for all of the knowledge, and yeah, looking forward to see you at more of such events and to all the students as well. And for sir's LinkedIn ID, I have dropped. I guess I've already dropped.
Yes.
Yes.
So I have also shared in the presentation if you want to. So it's a Sagar Chavan in plain ID. Okay, you can use into
Hmm.
LinkedIn.
Okay. In case if you have difficulty, you can always go pre-grad's page, and there Sagar sir is already tagged.
Yes.
Yes, and few important things that needs to be shared is the feedback form from Sagar sir, along with the WhatsApp group where you will get the certification for this webinar to all of the students. So I have just dropped in the chat box. You can copy, you can save, you can paste it somewhere, and yes, you can join the session, join the WhatsApp group. All right. So
And
thank you.
feedback
Yes,
form is for my personal
yes,
understanding. Okay, so
yes,
just
yes.
for don't worry
Absolutely.
about it. I will not share with your teachers.
So student, if you loved the session and if you learned anything from the session, please go back to this feedback form and do share your thoughts and do share your
Yes, I
complete.
also posted the post on the LinkedIn. You can also give the feedback there if you really love my session. Okay, we can
Yes,
have more sessions like this.
good. So thank you once again. Thank you, sir. And let us wrap up with the session.
Yeah.
So all of the students can leave the session, and if anybody is having doubts with the links and everything, they can stay. I'm here for next 2 to 3 minutes.
Uh, Gitika, I should also leave.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Everybody
cool.
can leave.
Thank
Only
you.
I'm waiting for people if
Thank
they
you
have
all
any.
once again.